President Bola Tinubu's made a decision to stay back in the country. He's postponed his G20 and a two-nation tour trips to South Africa and Angola, waiting briefing on Kebbi and Kwara attacks. And youths of Kwara and Eruku community have blocked the expressway, the Ilorin-Kaba Express Road, after bandit attacks in a church in Eruku. Hello everyone, welcome to the program. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. I'm Sean Kimale right here in Abuja. Tonight, we'll be bringing you up to speed the reasons why President Bola Tinubu could not travel to out of the country. The president has postponed his South Africa and Angola trips. We'll be giving you all the details tonight on the program. But first, let me give you an update on one of your major political stories that we have been following for you, which is the People's Democratic Party story. Today, our reporter has gone back to the scene of yesterday, very disgraceful incident of police tear gassing some of the supporters of the different factions. And the police have cordoned off the National Secretariat of the PDP following the clash between two factions of the party, something that we saw yesterday, which escalated so badly when our correspondent visited the PDP headquarters at Wadata Plaza earlier today. It was observed that a barbed wire was used to create a barrier to prevent anyone from gaining access to the premises. All right, and let's bring you up to speed with some of your political roundup stories.
Closing.
The leadership of the House of Representatives is to interface with the Senate leadership to expedite action on the issues surrounding the protest by police pensioners. This was a resolution reached after the debate on a motion of urgent national importance raised by Honorable Joe Onuakalusi. The House maintains that the bill to remove the police from the contributory pension scheme has been passed by the House and is awaiting concurrence in the Senate. The National Assembly Joint Committee on Electoral Reform says the national electoral system needs reforms that are practical, inclusive, and backed by political will. The lawmakers say Nigerians want elections that reflect the will of the people. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Electoral Reform, Senator Simon Lalong, stated this at a one-day review meeting on electoral repeal and enactment bill in Abuja. He notes that the meeting represents a crucial step in collective commitment to strengthening electoral processes and ensuring that they remain transparent, credible and reflective of the democratic ideals. The FCT Independent National Electoral Commission has commenced an implementation meeting over voter enlightenment activities towards the FCT area council elections scheduled for Saturday, the 21st of February, 2026. Addressing participants at the meeting in Abuja, the resident electoral commissioner, Mr. Aminu Idris, was represented by the administrative secretary of the commission, Mrs. Bimbo Oladunjoye, says the implementation meeting signals the official commencement of the Commission's voter education, sensitization and inclusivity activities for the February 2026 FCT area council elections. The Ekiti State governorship candidate of the African Democratic Congress, ADC, in the forthcoming election in June 2026, Mr. Oluwadare Bejide, has vowed to dethrone the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, in the state. Mr. Bejide stated this when he received the party's nomination certificate in Abuja, where he promised to operate a strong and people-driven campaign to dislodge the ruling party. According to him, the people are dissatisfied with the performances of the incumbent government, which he says has not met the aspirations of the people in terms of security and infrastructure development.
Now you're up to speed with your political roundup story. So, as some of these terrorists are wreaking havoc in some part of the country, some of them are on the run as security agencies are after them. Some of them found themselves in the courtroom, one of which is the now prosecuted ISWAP leader, who's now been jailed for 20 years over terror attacks. It was prosecuted by the DSS for alleged terrorism. Hussein Ismaila has been convicted of offenses of terrorism and sentenced to 20 years imprisonment by a federal high court here in Abuja. Justice Emeka Nwite pronounced the sentence in a judgment delivered after Ismaila, also known as May Tangaran, pleaded guilty to a 4-count terrorism charge brought against him by the secret police. The prosecution says Ismaila was a coordinator of the 2012 attacks on police headquarters in Bompai in Kano State, mobile police base, Kabuga Road, Kano State, Pharmaceutical Center Police Station, Kano State, Angwa Uku Police Station, Kano State, among others, in which many people were injured. Shortly after his arrest on the 31st of August 2017 at the Samia Baba village in the Gizawa LGA, Kano State, Ismaila was arraigned on a 4-count charge brought under the Terrorism Prevention Amendment Act and has now been jailed for 20 years over terror attacks today by a federal high court in Abuja. Let's tell you now that President Bola Tinubu has postponed his scheduled trips to Johannesburg and Luanda as the presidency confronts 2 major security breaches: the abduction of schoolgirls in Kebbi State and the deadly attack on worshippers in a church in Eruku, Kwara State. A statement this earlier today by the president's spokesperson, Bayo Onanuga, reveals that the president has ordered the deployment of more security personnel to the affected communities and directed the police and the DSS to pursue the attackers, while Vice President Kashim Shettima has been asked by the president to visit Kebbi State, which he has done. He's been on the ground and has visited Kebbi State on behalf of the president, while security agencies intensify efforts to rescue the abducted students. The president has also manned Brigadier General Musa Uba and soldiers killed by ISWAP militants in Borno, warning that those who threaten the safety of citizens will face the full weight of the Nigerian state. Let me allow you to listen to the Vice President Kashim Shettima as soon as he visited Kebbi State and some of what he has discovered for himself in the aftermath of the Kebbi schoolgirls' abductions.
Mr. President is deeply troubled by this tragedy. He shares your anguish, and he has sent me to assure you that this is not a moment for politics. This grief transcends party lines, geography, and identity. This is a time for unity, for compassion, and for firm resolve in the face of evil. Your Excellency will honor and appreciate and take care of the family of the Vice Principal of the Government Girls Comprehensive Secondary School. He paid the ultimate price in defense of his daughters, of his students. This government will not relent. We will use every instrument of the state to bring these girls home and to ensure that the perpetrators of this wickedness pay the full weight of justice.
Today is not a day of speech. It's a very sad day for us, because when you look at the girls, the very young girls who are in school to pursue knowledge. And unfortunately, these notorious people went to that school in the night and abducted them. Our prayer is just to see these our daughters came out soon. And we have directed all our clerics in the states to continue to pray. We know they are doing, but we ask them to add more effort to ensure that day and night continue to pray so that we'll see this our daughters out.
All right, so there's been a lot of reactions since the incident, the sad incident of the schoolgirls, and now were abducted. And so we're getting some reactions from authorities in the local communities, especially as reactions are even coming from external forces. For example, the chairman of Danko Wazagu local government area, Hussein Aliyu, has refuted a claim credited to a U.S. lawmaker, Riley Moore, alleging that the abduction of the Margot schoolgirls occurred in a Christian enclave. He stated that all the abducted schoolgirls are Muslims and urged the lawmaker to desist from making unverifiable statements capable of dividing the nation along religious or ethnic lines at a time when government efforts are focused on rescuing the girls. He noted that the Zulu Emirate, under which the Margot community falls, has never experienced religious crises, wondering why the U.S. lawmaker chose to make comments that portray Nigeria in a negative light. The chairman released the names of the schoolgirls, as some of them in SS2, some in SS3, as you can see right there, handwritten, total of 25 of those schoolgirls. Let me take you to Kwara State, where youths of Eruku community in Ekiti, local government area of Kwara State, have now come up and wanted to defend themselves. At least one thing they have is their voices, and they wanted to be heard, and they've staged a major protest after a late-night attack in the area by armed bandits. The protesters blocked the Ilorin-Kaba highway at the entrance of the town, causing heavy traffic disruption. The youth alleged that the attack, which lasted close to an hour, occurred without any response from security operatives stationed in the community. A youth leader, Peter Adeshian, also criticized the police, saying that despite the community's support in building facilities for the division, officers did not act when residents needed them the most. The Eruku attack is part of a recent wave of security incidents affecting border communities in Kwara State. But one of the residents and community leaders, let me allow you to listen to the plea on an emotional outburst from one of the citizens or residents of Eruku.
And they kidnapped almost 35 members of the church. Yes.
What about the casualties? How many?
3 casualties and 1 in the hospital.
What time did this happen?
6 p.m. yesterday. We are doing Thanksgiving service for the 18 people that was kidnapped 3 weeks ago, and all of them were rescued. That is why we are doing the prison service to thank God for the rescue of those people.
You could hear one of the women who was speaking in Yoruba language, really emotional, talking about our child is missing from that attack. And of course, one of the eyewitnesses there speaking on the incident. We understand now that Governor Abdurrahman has since gotten on the ground, the governor of Kwara State, and has visited Eruku community where that incident happened.
National Total Sector 5. The epicenter of the challenge was the Babanda axis. So they went straight to the epicenter. So what you're seeing here is a fallout because they're running away from that axis and coming to this area. West Bank and security agencies, all of them are in the human struggle. As you know, you mentioned your forest. It's vast territory. It's difficult to cover. But my equipment are coming from our security agencies to cover these areas. Different sort of platform, drones and all that.
All right, then. So we will also show you that since the president has ordered DSS, police, security agencies to move on the ground, that's part of Kwara State in the southern central district of the state are seeing enormous attacks, and it's being a persistent and consistent attacks on the people of that area in Kwara State. It's just a border from Ekiti to Kogi State, and we've seen that level of attack happening over the past months in the state. Of course, the Commissioner of Police has since gone on the ground and deployed more personnel to douse the tension in the state. But let's get to break down all of these and what this means. First and foremost, let's visit the Kebbi matter. Of course, we'll be getting all the perspectives, some of the angles which will give you some kind of perspectives on what exactly is going on. I'm being joined by Senator Maidoki, who is the senator representing Kebbi State in the National Assembly. Thank you so much, Senator, for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Shew.
Let's sort out the situation in that school. But give us some native intelligence and some information that we do not know as far as that attack and that abduction is concerned.
Thank you very much, Seun. This is the most unfortunate week of my life. When we heard of the kidnapping of Chibok girls, you thought it's too far away, that is like a fairy tale. Today is right in the middle of my house.
That's your constituency?
Yeah, my constituency.
In Maga?
In Maga. These are people that we assured that when we win election, there will be security. Security was #1 item in the agenda for my election, for my joining politics. And just yesterday, I came back from Maga. I met the wife of the 2 persons that were killed. I met the school principal and the people of Maga to commiserate with them and condole those that have died and give them assurance that we will work with government and other security agents to ensure these children are brought back home. I gave them assurance that this will not be like Chibok girls. They will come back home. And I just came back to Abuja so that we can work with the relevant government and see what is the best way and solutions that will be used to ensure that these girls are returned and security is returned to our environment.
Senator, I mean, quite emotional. You promise your people as a leader that you're going to secure them. But now, see what has happened. You feel a sense of failure to them. Is that how you feel? Do you think? I
can tell you, I feel right now that I have failed my people. My people embarked on self-help to protect themselves. I went around, I brought INEC registration card. I assured them that this INEC registration card is more than the local weapon they call Wagila you are holding, that this is your ticket to safety. Please go and register and make sure you choose people of integrity, and we can assure you that security will come to this area. And they heard us clear, and they did. I won an election under PDP. PDP was not in government in Kebbi State. We defeated the incumbent senator, who incidentally was my childhood friend, or is my childhood friend. We grew up together, we worked together. So, but it's about securing our people. It's not about me or about him. It's about our land and our people. And we came to the Senate. We engaged the Senate. Prior to my elections, there were more than 200 villages in Zulu Emirate that had been occupied by bandits. Occupied completely.
When you say occupied, did they hoist their flags? Are they operating from there?
They are operating there from there. Most of the bandits that are troubling us are not those that hoist flag. These are economic bandits. They steal cows, goats, take people for ransom. These are the type of people we are dealing with. They are not the type that host flag or any ideological inclination. These are economic terrorists. So, and to the glory of God, after I plead, Senate went into action, and we engaged all the service chiefs. And I can tell you, we've seen results. And I came back after a year, I reported to the Senate President that, Senate President, thank you very much. Today, in Kebbi South, there is no one village that is occupied by bandits.
This was what time of the year?
Late last year.
Okay.
So I told him that every community have gone back to their villages and their farming. But we still have incursions. Most of our problem come from Zamfara State. It's only a river that divides Kebbi State from Zamfara State.
So you are bordered by the Zulu Emirate,
yeah,
where this happened is just a few kilometers away from Zamfara State.
Zamfara State, that side of axis.
Yeah, so you on that axis you are bordered by Zamfara. On the other axis you are bordered by Sokoto.
By Niger.
By Niger State.
Yeah, by Niger State.
Yeah.
And all the terrorists, whenever they are coming, mostly they reside in Zamfara. But when they are coming, they have a corridor, which they call, every time they are attacking Yauri Emirate, for instance, they must pass through Zuru. So if Zuru is attacked today, the next day Yauri will be attacked. If Zuru is safe, Yauri is safe. So I reported we've seen progress, but there are incursions. And we plead with the Senate President that things should be done so that the security in those areas can be enhanced. The armed forces themselves, the Nigerian army, have mapped out a particular location where they wanted to do forward operation base. They bought the land, they are paid compensation, and I keep asking, when are you going to mobilize? If your presence alone in that location will secure that area.
So this is Zulu Emirates is, and Maga also is within the Danko Wasagu local government area.
Yes.
And this has a large expanse of land that those who say that you can travel for several minutes or almost an hour. And you may not even see settlement until you see another settlement and you see another settlement. So there's a large expanse of land and there's a river between the Zulu Emirates and Zamfara State. But in all of this, the attack we saw, a vice principal was killed. Yeah. The principal was heavily injured. And there are those who say some of the schoolgirls escaped, you know. But did you see any of those schoolgirls that escaped? What more did you hear? Where did they run back to? Where did they, what inkling do you have? Did they take the schoolgirls towards Zamfara State, or what part of the country did they say they go? They must have been footsteps, because we understand that when they attacked Maga, several minutes people were running helter-skelter before they went into the school. What are the information that you have? Where do we think that these people must have entered into or taken these schoolgirls?
Seun, I must commend so far the activities of the Nigerian Armed Forces. They are right now in the forest. Just today, I have a report of about 7 soldiers that were shot, unfortunately not fatally,
by the bandits.
By the bandit in an effort to rescue these girls. We have a fair idea of where the girls are, and we are sure they have not moved outside my constituency in Kebbi South.
So they are likely to be within, they've not crossed outside of Kebbi?
They have not, from all the intelligence we have, they have not crossed outside the Kebbi South senatorial.
So there is a huge hope.
There is high hope that these girls will be returned home in the next 1 or 2 days. That is the hope we have.
I mean,
based on the information.
And I mean, the mothers, the parents of these children are in anguish. They are deeply pained, and everyone in the nation is really deeply pained by this. This should never have happened again. We saw the Chibok girls, and we say, God forbid these kind of things happen. We saw school attacks in part of the country after the Chibok school girls attack, but we thought that this would never happen again because we thought that there were initiatives to secure the schools. Where were those initiatives? Is this school not secured? Are there no NSCDC, because these are the people, that's the agency of government that is saddled with that responsibility of safeguarding the schools. What really happened? What went wrong?
So, the biggest problem of Nigerian security of the armed forces is lack of boots on the ground. The Senate realized this, and in one of our budget, we made sure that money is voted so that about 4 or 5 recruitment centers of army personnel are open. But unfortunately, up to date, apart from Kaduna, there is no training center for the armed forces. Without boots on the ground, say 20 soldiers who are stationed in a particular location, or 25, cannot confront 300 armed bandits riding on 300 machines carrying 33 people. There is no way. The number of the armed forces confronting this security challenge is very, very negligible.
So the security agency they were not on ground.
Even if they are on ground, they don't have the capacity to fight this bandit.
But these bandits were in Maga community for over an hour, from what we understand. True or false?
True.
How long did they operate? Because we understand they entered into the town, and it looks like the school was directly targeted.
The school was directed.
They planned the attack to kidnap the schoolgirls. Is that right?
That was what brought them. And we have a fair idea that they've been targeting that school for a long time. And some security measures were taken. But so I keep telling you, there is an army checkpoint just 5 kilometers away. But there are only 10 or 20. So I'm not
Did they overpower them?
I'm not a soldier, but I understand the rule of engagement in the army is 1 to 2. 2 soldiers to 1 bandit. So if you come with 300 machine or 100 machine, that means 300 bandits, and you have only 25 soldiers. That is suicide. So even from there, the soldiers know their number 1 priority is to defend themselves.
How did they transport the girls?
You know, they have these machines that they have been expert in riding this machine along the path of farm settlement, even when in the rainy season, when crops are being planted in farmlands. So they take less than 5-10 minutes to reach a community. Once you hear that they are here today, in the next 1 hour,
they are done.
They've gone. They've evaporated.
And they move very fast.
They move very fast, more than the pickups that the military are using.
Apart from the girls that they took, did they take anything? Because you said that some of them are economic bandits.
They have taken cows. They have taken with.
I'm talking about this particular attack.
Yeah, they came with. They've already packed certain cows, and there are a large number of cows there.
How did they transport those cows?
By road.
In the truck?
No, by road. They follow them, and they form a shield. So, last time when our army did excellently well to neutralize most of them, it was all, yes, training and luck. Because if you are 25, I keep saying, you cannot face 100 bandits.
So they put the schoolgirls on the back of the bikes.
Yeah.
They must have brought, because they took 25 of them.
About 100 bikes took place with 33 people.
Wow.
All of them armed. And I can tell you, in those terrain, they can travel a long distance within a matter of 5-10 minutes.
The schoolgirls who escaped, are they in good condition? Are they okay?
They are okay. It's only one girl that escaped. It's only one girl.
The principal was badly injured, we understand.
No, I spoke with the principal.
Is she okay now?
She's okay.
All right. Give me a moment, Senator. We'll be right back to look at ways out of this. This should never happen. And how will it not happen again? What are we doing? Are we just reactive, or we are making proactive measures to ensure that not only that the nation, its perimeters are secured, but its people feel safe in their own land? We'll be right back after this break, everyone. Join us again. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us on the program. We've been discussing the Kebbi schoolgirls abduction. Senator Maidoki is a senator representing that area of Kebbi State. Senator, the VP is there. The assurances that we're getting, what do you think can be done to ensure the safe return of these kids and a permanent fix into some of these issues?
Thank you very much, Theo. We appreciate seriously the effort of the federal government towards this incident. The Chief of Army Staff was there himself supervising this operation, but he left. But there is the garrison commander, Major General, is in Zuru right now, and the Vice President, who is representing the President, is already in Kebbi State to show the attention the federal government has given us towards resolving this issue. And we are very hopeful that this issue will be resolved and these girls will be returned.
What's the spirit of the people of of Maga? What is it like?
Maga is a ghost of itself. The parents are in a state of shock. Some of them think they are still dreaming. That you will wake up from this bad dream and a nightmare and you see the child the following morning. Some of them are already in hospital, hypertension.
What about the wife of the principal that was shot dead?
It's the vice principal was supposedly, but it's not the vice principal, it's the head of the security. Yeah. They went to his house, they asked him to take them to the girls, he refused, and they shot him. Point blank, in front of his wife and his children.
But the head of school was said to have been injured.
She's doing very well now.
Okay.
She was in the school, and she is okay. The other person that was there was a security guard that was killed. They asked him to take them to the girl hostel. He refused, and they killed him straight away. The third security man who complied with their instruction, who took them to the girls hostel, they wanted to go with him, but because their main attention was to take the girls. So once their attention was diverted towards capturing the girl, he slipped away.
But, I mean, you said that it's long coming. This attack, there are feelers that this will happen. And it shows the vulnerability of the school. Are there other vulnerable spots in the state or within your senatorial district that attention needs to pay to?
Yes. There are so many vulnerable schools. I've received calls from parents. Do we take our children home? I really don't have an answer, but I'm waiting to speak with because the incidents, now our full attention is how to recover these girls. Immediately after, we would have to sit down with the governor to decide.
All right. Give me a moment, Senator. Let me bring in an expert here. I bring him in when we see terror and when we see extremist tendencies and violence, because that is what is studied, and up to a PhD, is a PhD holder in this kind of area, is a lawyer, both Nigeria, qualified to practice in Nigeria and the UK. Is Bulama Bukati, who is live for us virtually from London. Thank you so much, Mr. Bukati, for joining us tonight on the program. What a sad day it is for our country, especially also that we are here, the story from Eruku in Kwara State, where gunmen attacked a church there, killing at least 2 people and kidnapped the pastor and some worshippers. And police and witnesses say that this, of course, happened after the girls at the boarding school in Maga in Kebbi State. All of these are happening. What do you make of what is going on? The president has said, I'm not going to South Africa or Luanda, at least for now. Let me postpone it and face this crowd. I'm expecting briefing. Is it good? Do the kind of action you expected from the president, or you expected more? Or what exactly do you think is going on generally based on national security?
Sean, it's a very, very sad day. My heart bleeds for the families of those who lost their lives in the church, and also my prayers to the families of the 23 students that are still in custody. My heart also goes out to the family of General Musa Uba and the soldiers that were killed with him and the civilian JTF members on Friday. The span of these attacks shown is a sad overview of the multifaceted nature of our security challenge in Nigeria. Insecurity in our country has become a hydra-headed monster, and we have to take collective, decisive action right now to tackle this menace. Look at it. On Friday, you had an attack in the northeast against soldiers, including a brigadier general of the Nigerian army were killed. 1,000 kilometers from there, you had a school abduction in which 23 students were taken. And then another 600 kilometers from that scene, you have a church that was attacked. I mean, this should worry every single Nigerian. Our schools, our education is under attack. Our faith, our mosques and churches are under attack. And our military is under attack. Nowhere in our country is safe. This is the first issue. The second, Sheun, is that this school kidnapping is the 12th mass kidnapping of school children in Nigeria that has led to the abduction of over 1,600 Nigerian students, 1,600 students in 12 different incidents. Sheun, there is nowhere in history you have ever had any country where terrorists will walk into a school and walk away with the whole student body. But this is happening in Nigeria, and this is the 12th time. And when I say the 12th time, this doesn't include those in which less than 10 students were abducted. The lowest number is 15, but you have a lot. If we had time, I would read out the 12 we have. One of them was under President Jonathan, the Chibok abduction. 8 of them under President Buhari, and now we have 3 under President Tinubu. The 3 under President Tinubu are this one, and 2 in March of last year. One, the Kuriga students abduction in Kaduna, and the other one, the Sangaya school abduction in Sokoto, both of them in March of 2014. And then you have this abduction now, which makes it the 3rd under President Tinubu. And so it's happening under all the presidents. And although we know that the actors are varied and their motives differ, they exploit some common things. One of them is our weak security architecture. We are now talking about information that has been relayed both in the church, you can see the frustration, and in the MAGA community, and look at the senator and how he expresses the feeling, the frustration of his community about them reporting an incident days or weeks before it happens, and yet it happened. What is causing this? In Nigeria, we don't lack information. Our problem is not lack of information. It is lack of capacity and coordination to respond on time. Our personnel are too few. Their mobility is poor, and our reinforcement time is very slow. And that then allows criminals and terrorists to wreak havoc across our country. Number 3, Sheun, is how Donald Trump, Nicki Minaj, and their ilk are adding insult to injury, where we are losing our lives. Nigerians are dying, and they are there using that opportunity for political rhetoric and for entertainment. Sheun, it tells you how seriously these people take our lives, that a musician will be invited to the United Nations who has never been to Nigeria, as far as I know, will be invited to the United Nations to speak on insecurity when we have eminent experts in Nigeria, when we have survivors in Nigeria, when we have families who have lost loved ones in Nigeria, when we have a government in Nigeria. None of them got invited to the United Nations to seriously discuss the issue. It was a musician who has no relationship with Nigeria and know nothing about Nigeria that was invited. And when she went, Sheun, what did she do? She gave a speech in which she claims to care for Nigerian Christians, but she was laughing at the end of the speech. Less than 5 minutes, less than 2 minutes after she has spoken about Christians being persecuted, and she was laughing in the same speech, and she was using the speech for advertising her work, saying she's looking forward to meeting her fans and laughing and enjoying herself. That's how seriously they take our lives. And what is their statement doing? They are dividing our community further. You have Riley Moore coming out to say the school kidnapping affected Christian students when it was overwhelmingly Muslim students that were affected. Sheun, the final point I will make at this on this segment is that the incidents over the past 7 days completely dismantled Donald Trump, Nicki Minaj, and all of their narratives and arguments. Why do I say this? A church was attacked in Kwara State. 2 Christian worshippers died, and a pastor and some worshippers were abducted. Very sad incident. And then you have a school in a predominantly Muslim community. 23 students abducted, and the presumption is that they are predominantly Muslim students. And then in the northeast, you have a military general, Samaila Musa Uba, who also happens to be a Muslim, killed. This tells you that these guys, their war is not against a specific faith. Their war is against Nigeria. They want to dismantle our country. They want to destroy all of us. And the earlier we unite, the earlier we shun the forces of division and evil and unite as Nigerians, Muslims and Christians and face our common enemy, the better for all of us.
Give me a moment, gentlemen. Let's go on another break, and we'll be right back to wrap up. So we're getting some response from the federal government. The federal government directly is speaking about the security situation in the country. The Ministry of Information has been speaking on the efforts of the federal government in quenching some of these attacks and ensuring security, safety returns to the country. Take a listen to him speaking earlier today.
That President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has put our nation's security apparatus on the highest alert ever and has deployed them to actively pursue and eliminate these terrorists, bandits, and criminal elements wherever they may be in Nigeria. Our security forces have also been mandated to swiftly rescue the abducted Kebbi schoolgirls and reunite them with their families. Similarly, the President has also directed that all those who have been abducted in Eruku also be reunited with their families.
All right, that's the Ministry of Information and some of the directives, according to him, that has been made by the President. But quickly, Mr. Bukati, where do we go from here? Efforts are being made, some of which we know, some of which we may not be able to see on television, but it does look like the pressure is much. And Nigerians want solution and answers. Does it look like it's too overwhelming? Or what exactly is the way out? Where do we go from here? Just 30 seconds to react to that so we can close.
Yeah, Mincheon, you did speak about the president's cancellation of his trip and the vice president's. I commend them for that and the vice president's visit. It shows that they are sensitive to this issue. But Sheon, we have been here before. And in order to get a grip on this situation, the President Bola Tinubu has to act decisively, has to take some radical measures right now. And I would recommend 5. Number 1, President Tinubu should deploy all the service chiefs to the operational areas permanently, and they will not return to Abuja until they have secured our country. Number 2, a presidential committee on insecurity should be set up under the vice president or under the secretary to the federal government to update Nigerians every single week on what is happening in our country and what they are doing. Number 3, the national security advisor or the vice president needs to be mandated to bring all the governors, the service chiefs and emirs together to develop a consistent, comprehensive policy and implement it together from now. We cannot allow people to be pursuing policies anyhow in our country. Number 4, the President Tinubu needs to declare a state of emergency on our borders. Our borders are so porous, and we have to stop the flood of arms, ammunition, and drugs into our country. And finally, Sheon, we need President Tinubu to right now make sure that all commissioned officers, no commissioned officer remains in any barrack in Nigeria. All of them should go to the operational area and make sure this issue is tackled.
Bulama Bukati, thank you. Senator Maidoki, thank you. I saw a piece right here calling for all Nigeria to safeguard our democracy in an era of rising insecurity and global concern. We need to all come together, help the government, help ourselves, keep alive, and stay together to keep our nation as one. Thanks so much, everyone, for watching. I'm Sean Akimale. God bless Nigeria.